Hey, Matt and Ryan. Well, as gracefully as LeBron James is aging, the reality is his championship window is closing. But instead of surrounding him with young guns to help him get another ring, the Lakers have done just the opposite by packing their roster with big name, win now veterans. What's being debated is, are the new look Lakers going to be spry enough to compete in what's been called a young man's league?
I had my greatest time, some of my greatest moments, here in the Lakers jersey, playing in LA, now playing with LeBron and AD and Russ and Carmelo. It's like a dream.
Dwight Howard doesn't seem concerned about the Lakers' long-in-the-tooth roster. He's now back in purple and gold for the third time in his career. But ever since the recent acquisitions of Howard, Trevor Ariza, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony, the social media trolling of LeBron James's new running mates has been relentless and a little funny. LeBron has not been laughing and issued this response in a tweet that has since been deleted. Keep talking about my squad, our personnel ages, the way he plays, he stays injured, we're past our time in this league, etc., etc., etc. Keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. Hashtag thank you. So does LeBron know something that the rest of the sports world does not? Because on paper, the Lakers roster does look, well, old. 8 of their current 12 players are 32 years old or older. 5 of them, James, Anthony, Ariza, Howard, and Marc Gasol, are 35 or older. And with 3 roster spots left to fill, the average player age on the team is 31 years, 302 days old. If the 2021-22 season started today, the Lakers would have the oldest roster in NBA history. But with age comes experience, and there's no denying that on this Lakers roster. According to Elias Sports Bureau, LA now has 5 players who are 8-time or more All-Stars. And of the top 8 active players in the league with the highest points per game averages, the Lakers have 4 of them, including Carmelo Anthony.
I like it. I like when people talk about the age. It gives a better story. I think people forget at the end of the day it's about basketball. You got to know how to play basketball. I think that's what we bring at this point in time. Our talent, our skill, but also our experience.
Joining me now to talk about it is ESPN NBA reporter Tim Bontemps. Tim, when you look at the Lakers' current roster, what sticks out to you?
Well, Lisa, I think you summed it up pretty well. They're old, right? You go up and down the roster. These are big-name players who've had great careers, but they're old guys. Carmelo Anthony has played for 15 years or almost 20 years in the league. Dwight Howard has played 15 years in the league. Marc Gasol has played over 10 years in the league. Trevor Ariza has played 15 years in the league. I mean, these are guys who were playing in the conference finals and the NBA finals a decade or more ago, and they're hoping to do it again here in the 2021-22 season. And look, the Lakers are making a huge bet on that experience paying off. We see time and again in the playoffs, teams go deep in the playoffs because they have old, veteran, experienced rosters. This, though, is the absolute extreme of that end. And we'll see if the Lakers can have the success they hope to.
Yeah, well, Carmelo says he likes it, that it's about being able to play basketball. Are you buying that?
I mean, he certainly has to say that, right? Because that is what the Lakers have in their holster, is that they have been in every situation, and these guys are comfortable really in any situation on the court. Carmelo Anthony has won gold medals with Team USA. He's played in the conference finals with the Denver Nuggets. He's been in the playoffs a ton of times. Dwight Howard led the Orlando Magic to to the NBA Finals. He won a championship a couple years ago with the Lakers. LeBron James has been through every situation you can imagine. So that experience is what they're going to lean on because, as you pointed out, they're not going to have the same kind of youthful legs and energy that some of these other opponents are going to have against them, both in the Western Conference and across the league. But they're going to rely on that experience when they go into the playoffs and hopefully, for their sake, make the kind of deep playoff run to a championship that they want to have.
And now, all sports are different. Certainly all athletes are different. And athletes have found different ways of prolonging to take care of their bodies. When does age really become an issue in the NBA?
Well, I think it depends on the guy to a degree, but, LeBron James has certainly pushed that boundary as far as he possibly can, still being arguably the best player in the league in his, mid-30s now at 36 years old. But, generally the rest of this team is kind of an example of when age starts to catch up with guys in their early to mid-30s. Guys like Carmelo Anthony and Dwayne Wade, they fell off a few years ago, right, as LeBron James kept going. And while Carmelo has bounced back with the Portland Trailblazers the past couple of years and become a nice role player, he is not the same star-level player that obviously LeBron James has managed to maintain to this point in his career. So, look, these guys are going to come in on minimum contracts for a reason. They're guys that have been through a lot of years in the NBA. They don't have the same legs, but as Carmelo said, they know how to play, they have that experience, and they're hoping to translate that to the court in ways that will allow them to beat teams that might have more youthful energy and activity on the court that they won't be able to match.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.